everybody, it's the 13th Wolfman. Today's day 21. Day 21 of the 31 Days of Horror. Day 21, man. I'm always kind of bummed when we're getting closer and closer to the end. 10 more days left. 10 more awesome films to watch. 31 movies, 31 days, 31 films, and of course, I'm hoping for 31 comments. Of course, 31 reviews, 31 videos, all that. There are other people doing this. Brother Max, the one and only MSJ. I am the Ice Lord, Retro Horror, Random Horror, Mood 616, Double Shot J, Jennifer Tochi, Echo, will have Cheetah will view, King Gore, who else? There's a ton of people doing this. It's the 31 days, man. I mean, everyone does it in their own different way, and it's always fun to see what twist everyone's put on it. This year, I got a theme, and my theme are horror, but it's horror movies and their sequels. And in this case, much like the very first day, we're doing an alternate viewing. What's an alternate viewing, to the people that don't know, is that sometimes a movie will come out and it'll have like 4 or 5 sequels, and they'll go, hey, guess what? We're going to do a prequel, explain how all this started, And so instead of watching that one at the end, I'm watching that one at the beginning and then following everything else up with it. Get it? Got it? Good. All right. So what's today's alternate viewing? Today's alternate viewing is The Exorcist Beginnings. Okay. So there's 2 prequels to The Exorcist, the 1973 classic with Linda Blair, Ellen Burstyn, Max von Sydow, Jason Miller. I mean, there's 2 prequels to that. The first prequel is The Exorcist Dominion. Now, Morgan Creek, who owned the rights to The Exorcist at the time, hired Paul Schrader to make a prequel to The Exorcist, the 73 classic. And that's fine. He went out and made the movie, but he wanted to make it more of a psychological thriller rather than a horror movie. Didn't want to put any gore in it. And Morgan Creek said, you know what? At least the people over at Morgan Creek said, you know what? It needs more gore. And he wasn't going to do it. He wasn't going to compromise his ideals or his vision for the movie. So, they fired him. They fired him and they hired Rennie Harlan. Rennie Harlan watched Paul Schrader's version of the movie and said, well, you know what would be cheaper? He goes, I could try to fix this, but what would be cheaper is basically reshooting the entire film. So Rennie Harlan basically got rid of like 99% of the cast with the exception of Stellan Skarsgård. Stellan Skarsgård plays the same character in both films. There's a few plot points that are changed, but the entire cast, and they even dropped 2 characters in the Rennie Harlan picture, which is the one I watched last. That's the one that I watched. The Exorcist Beginnings. So now you have Stellan Skarsgård. What a name! It's a tongue twister. Stellan Skarsgård as Lancaster Marin, Isabel Scorupco, who, I know her from maybe like 3 movies, this, Vertical Limit, and a James Bond movie, and she fell off the face of the earth. And then you have, who else is in it? James Darcy is in it as Father Francis, and really, there's no one really big in this movie other than Skarsgård. So, he films his movie, he turns it into Morgan Creek, and Morgan Creek's like, okay, yeah, this is good, let's go with it. they put it out there, and it does lukewarm at the box office. Morgan Creek's like, you know what? We have the other movie, the Paul Schrader movie. Let's put that one out there. They put that out there, and it didn't do very well either. But the thing is that it confused everybody. In 2004, when these two movies came out, it's like, why are there two prequels to The Exorcist? Why is Stellan Skarsgård in both of them? You know, I really like the Rennie Harlan movie. You know, Beginnings. It just, I'm not knocking Paul Schrader. I just, for some reason, I really like it. Rennie Harlan, if you don't know who he is, he's done tons of great movies. I mean, well, to me, they're great. To a lot of other people, they usually crap on him, but he did a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. He's done Cutthroat Island, Long Kiss Goodnight, The Day After Tomorrow. I mean, you know, the list just keeps going on and on. So here, in the movie that we have here, Stellan, man, I got a hair that I just... Stellan Skarsgård plays Lancaster Marin as a young man. In the very beginning of the original 1973 Exorcist, we see not architecture, an archaeological dig where they find the statue of Pazuzu. And Lancaster Marin, later in that movie, says that he's dealt with this evil before. Well, this is it. This is the movie. Exorcist Beginnings is the movie that explains what he meant by that statement. You know, he's found Pazuzu back in the 40s at an archaeological dig. They find this church that's been covered up by time, that's basically in pristine condition. You know, and it's a gateway to hell, man. I mean, really, it is. It's one of the coolest movies. I love it. It has that feeling, that Exorcist feeling, that creepy vibe. You know, I talked about creepy and suspense and tension the last couple of days, and this has both of it. Plus, it's got the creepy vibe, and I love that. This movie works as the jumping off point for the Exorcist movies. So now you get to watch Lancaster Marin as a young man, you know, and then the next one is The Exorcist, and you get to see Max von Sydow as Lancaster Marin dealing with Regan McNeil, you know. And then you go from that one to the third movie, and you have, you know, George C. Scott dealing with Pazuzu once more. But yeah, this is just such an awesome film. I really love the original movie. I've told everyone this before, but when I was a kid, you know, in 1973 when the original movie came out, my mom took me and my brother to go see it. I was 6, he was 9 when these movies came out. And she wanted to go see The Exorcist, so she took us along, and I've loved it ever since. Don't really have a whole lot more to say. This is an awesome edition to have, too. The complete anthology. It's all 5 movies. Well, it's actually 4 movies. It's you have the 2 prequels. You have the 2 prequels, Exorcist 3, Exorcist 2, and 2 cuts of the original Exorcist. So you got 6 discs in here, you know, and that's awesome. I usually watch, I mean, when it comes to the original movie, I usually watch the extended version, but I think this time around, I will watch the original cut just to give me that nostalgia of seeing it for the first time in the theater. Other than that, you know, Exorcist Beginnings is well worth checking it out, and as always, I am the 13th Wolfman, and I'm on the prowl.